guys, what is up? My name is Megan and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to today's video, which is the Candyland Picks My TBR round for the month of May. There is a little change to the game this month. If you've been here before, you would know what each color on the board corresponds to prompt-wise. I made a change. I put it up on the community post to get you guys' input, but orange in prior games this year was a book that was released before 2024. However, it will no longer be the case. We are switching it up and bringing in my favorite mug right now, strawberries. If you watch my vlogs, you know how obsessed I am with strawberries at the moment. And in this beautiful strawberry is literally every single unread book I have on my shelves, aside from maybe one or two that I just recently purchased. And when we fall on orange, we're just gonna put our hand in there and pick a book. So I'm excited to add this more like random part of the TBR back, because I used to do TBR jars and I love them. So now that that's out of the way, the rest of the rules remain the same. I also want to say that every time I read a book from this jar and complete it, I get to put $1 in a book buying jar, so that way it kind of makes me read my new TBR before I'm able to buy new books. If you want more information on the game, please do refer to my playlist. If not, let's hop on in. Okay, last month we ended on double green. So let's go for spin number 1. Ooh, free pick. Happy for the free pick, but it also means that we are going down because we fell on the peanut. Spin number 1 brought us to the pink peanut. So pink is a free space, which we're starting off strong. However, peanut, not so strong for our achieving the end of the board goal in this game, but that is fine. So for my free pick, I went with a book that I had put on my TBR last month and mentioned that because it was coming out at the end of the month, maybe I wasn't going to read it, so I read the replacement instead. And that is A Funny Story by Emily Henry. It's that time of year where everybody and their mom is going to talk about Emily Henry, and you're going to get sick and tired of hearing about her if you are not the biggest fan of Emily Henry. I, however, am. And every year at this time I get super excited for her newest release. This is her newest romance book, and I honestly have no idea, absolutely no idea what this is about. It's a pre-order because it's Emily Henry, and the guy is also wearing Crocs on this cover, which makes me intrigued. I also have the Waterstones exclusive edition coming my way, but I just had to get my little paws on all the editions. So the real question is, how many times am I going to cry reading this? Stay tuned in an upcoming vlog. But yes, first pick down. So happy to have this on my TBR. Moving on to spin number 2. Moving on to spin number 2. And orange. Moving to orange. Spin number 2 brought us to orange. And so it is the official start of this beautiful jar. So let's pick a book. I would say I'm in the mood for either a romance or middle grade, maybe even a thriller. Not super big into a fantasy mood right now, but the jar's gonna pick for me anyways. This is hard to show on camera, but there's so many in here. Pick a paper and show you guys first. And what does this say? Danger a Dead Man's Pass. Okay, let me get back to you. This is the book I'm going to be reading, and you may say it's not Danger at Dead Man's Pass. Danger at Dead Man's Pass is like the 4th or 5th book in the Adventures on Train series by MJ Leonard and Sam Sedgman. However, I am on to book 2, so this is going to go back in the jar. If ever I pick book 2, then, you know, we'll just swap it up for something else. But I'm obviously going to read the series in order. This is a middle grade series about a young boy who goes on a lot of different trains with his uncle, and he solves mysteries on them. The first one is a theft, and this one is a kidnap on the California Comet. I loved the first book. It's part of my 10 favorite books that I like to recommend here on my channel. I will link the video where I reference it if you guys want to see. But they are really fun and I'm really excited to be able to continue the series. So perfect pick for the first pick out of this jar. Very happy. Let's move on to spin number 3. Let's go for spin number 3, which is orange again. Okay, moving to orange, which is starting to worry me because if we get one more, we gotta add a spin. Spin number 3, yet again, brought us to orange, so if we spin one more, we gotta add an extra spin. Let's go back to the jar. I'm trying to like go to the bottom so that like I don't always pick just what's on top. And oh, y'all might not be able to see this well because the sun is shining, but it is the Whisper Wings. So excited. Be right back. The Whisper Wings is a book I struggled to describe. I even struggled during my video where I talked about my most anticipated reads of the year. This, I know, is the first book in a new middle grade series, and it follows a young boy named Benjamin who is all about science and believing in rational things. He does not believe in magic until one day this doll shows up at his house, and the doll eventually like turns into a bird. And so that leads him to this place and like things unravel from there. It sounds confusing, but it also sounds whimsical and like a lot of the things I love in middle grade. And I've also had a lot of people who I follow on Bookstagram for middle grade recommendations rave about this book. So that's how I got put on my radar, but honestly I did a terrible job at describing it, but just know I'm incredibly excited for it, and hopefully I can give you guys more of a thorough synopsis once I have actually read it. There's clearly a blue theme going on in this TBR right now. Not mad about it. Let's go to spin number 4. Moving on to spin number 4. Oh man, double orange. Okay, we are adding an extra spin. This is not going well. We are moving throughout the board though, which is good. Also, the dog is wanting to participate in this round, so excuse the whining. And number 4 also brought us to orange, so yay for the TBR jar, but we also need to add an extra spin now. So let's go. I'll do one more on the surface for this time. Let's go with this. Doesn't really, again, show up, does it? What it says, and you can't see it because of the sun, is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. Let me go get it. So this is the book I picked. It is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. It is a really chunky romance. I feel like that's all Lucy Score's right. I've never seen one of her books that was like tiny. This is the third in a companion series. I have not read the other 2 because they did not interest me, and I am not one to care for reading companion books out of order. You just follow different couples and you see like cameos of them, so you're not missing out on much, and this is the storyline that intrigues me most. If I was a main character who is a librarian and a male character who is all about money and power but also had an abusive father, I believe, and so he spends all his time just trying to undo what his father did. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about this. I did read By Thread by Lucy Score and enjoyed it, but I'm not like her biggest fan, so we'll see. Also, fun fact, my puppy chewed a couple of the pages on this and I'm never gonna live it down. Moving on to spin number 5. Moving on to spin number 5. Another free pick, yes, and we are gonna move on this board. Look at us go, guys. Look at us go. Spin number 5 again fell on pink, and this time the ice cream cone. So we were able to like move up the board again, which is great for the purpose of this game. Pink, as I said, free pick, and for that we are going with Skandar and the Chaos Cup. I did not get time to read it in May again because it came out on the 25th in the UK, but by the time it shipped to me it's too late. So I'm actually going to get this physically on Monday. and I'm really excited to be able to read it. It is the third book in the Scandar series. I have a review for the first book. I talk about the series all the time on my channel. I am very much invested in this middle grade series. If you want to know more, I highly recommend you checking out my review for the first book if you haven't already. Just know it's on my TBR. I need to get my grubby hands on it, and my audiobook should be coming out in May, as I pre-ordered it, because it comes out in May, like the book, in the US and Canada. So very hyped for that. Can't have another pink though, because that would also add a spin. Moving on to spin number 6, I think, what should have been our final spin. Moving on to spin number 6, and what should have been our last spin. And we got purple. Double purple, actually. We are getting so close to ending this game. Ideally, I'd love to win so that we can work something fun out. Spin number 6 brought us to purple, which is most read genre, and I always hesitate between middle grade and romance, obviously because they are my two most read genres, but for this one I decided to go with middle grade and pick Peregrine Quinn and the Cosmic Realm by Ash Bond, which is another like late April release, and I'm so excited for this. This, I believe, is the first book in a new series, at least I hope, and it is pitched kind of as a mashup between Scandar and Percy Jackson. It has the coolest like character art and just all the detailings, and I am incredibly excited just because of how it was pitched. I've also heard a lot of people who had art copies of this rave about it, so you bet your bottom I am excited. And this has also to do with God, because it says Olympus has never seen a hero quite like her, and I know this has to do with like the cosmic realm opening up, and the only person who should have been able to help Peregrine deal with all this, her uncle, is kidnapped, and she has to go on this journey and like fix the world by herself with, I'm assuming, a group of friends. And it sounds like every single middle grade I have ate up and loved in the past like 2 years, so I have high hopes for this one. Moving on to what should hopefully be our last spin, spin number 7. And double blue! Which means we have won the game. Spin number 7 is our last. Double blue also means we win the game, and so instead of it being blue, we get a free pick, and we also get to pick a treat. But one thing at a time, for the free pick, I am going ahead and adding Burnout by Rebecca Genchak on my TBR. This is her newest romance release between a gymnast and a motorcycle boy. He's all tattooed up. He's a bad boy. He needs her help. We can see where this is going. I'm obsessed with this book. It's dual perspective. I'm gonna love it. I read my first Rebecca Genchak in April, and immediately I know I'm obsessed. This is a thick one though. It's, how many pages is it? Like almost 450 pages, which is long for a romance, especially for her. But I'm intrigued. I feel like I'm gonna eat this up like sitting outside one day this month and just like have the best time. So, can I tell you more about this? No. I know I'm gonna love it. So on the TBR it goes. As for the treat for like finishing the board, I think what I'm gonna give myself is the ability to swap out and mood read one book, and it can count as like one book from my TBR this month. So for example, if I'm not in the mood to read this, I can just swap something else out, like something else in for the prompt, and it still counts as me like finishing my TBR. I think that's what I'm going to give myself, just because we picked so many books from the jar. I'm unsure about a couple of them. But, you know, I have high hopes. It's just like an in case, because I do want to like eventually finish a full TBR. So that's what I'm giving myself. I also want to read my book club picks for the month, obviously. If you want more information on them, we have a read along for Keeper of the Lost Cities, which I'm behind on, especially in posting video reviews, and we also have my middle grade book club, which my review for Witchlings should be coming your way extremely soon, but then I need to get on and read the May book, so consider those unofficially added to the TBR. So let's review it real quick. These are the books, and honestly, it's a vibe. It's honestly everything I love. So we're reading middle grade, we're reading romance. I'm gonna be happy about it. We're gonna vlog all the things and let you guys know how I feel about these books. I'm really hopeful. I think this is my favorite TBR I've had all year. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys, happy reading.